Hey, man. Thanks for having me, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely, brother. How are you?
Beautiful. I am doing. Actually, I'm so tired. I can't even tell you how tired I am right now. We are doing so much. It is like a nonstop 24/7 freaking rodeo of stuff that has to be done. So I'm
Yes.
exhausted. I'm exhausted, and it's Thursday, and Thursday I have decided is like Monday 2.0 because it's not Friday yet, but it's close enough, but it's just not quite there yet. So, but anyway, thanks for having me, guys. My name is Jason Brink. I am the president of blockchain at Gala Games, or at least that's the bullshit corporate title I use. Internally, I am known as a barbarian path of the berserker. We do things a little bit differently over there. And I've been in the blockchain space since about 2013. In 2014, I wrote and submitted a paper and ended up winning a grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Global Development Network for how to use blockchain to fix some of the problems endemic to foreign aid. And discovered that banks and NGOs are just really way too slow to make a difference. And so I got into the play to earn gaming space, and that is where I am. So happy to be here talking to you guys.
That's amazing. I didn't even know that. Congratulations. That's huge. Question for you: is the Wrath of the Berserker a Diablo reference?
Path of the Berserker. No, it's a
Path.
it's a D&D 5e reference. Everybody in the
Gotcha.
company has D&D titles.
I love it. I love the I love the enthusiasm there. I'll hand it over to David to take over
Awesome.
from here. David, how's it going?
Great. Like I
Great.
mustered all the energy I could.
Are
I
you
hear that.
having a case of the Thursdays too, David?
Yes, Jason, like you totally described it. Like I am like, yes. How's it going, guys? And right after
And
this show, I'm going right into a pillow. But
exactly.
no. So listen, Jason. I know Jason, really nice guy. I'm a huge fan of Gala Games, man. I think what you guys have done there is incredible, and really, honestly, you set the bar for events, and I guess we'll talk about that more during this show. But that event, I just saw pictures, and I wish I would have gone.
Well, you're
Uh,
gonna have to go to the next one, man.
One hundred
Like
percent.
I told everyone before we had that, I'm like, look, you guys, like, you're not going to believe this. Like, I could tell you how cool it is, and you're not going to believe it. So you're just going to have to show up. And I had all these people who are like, yeah, I don't know, Las Vegas. I don't know if I want to get on a plane. And everyone that went there, like, had an absolute blast. It was an amazing event.
All the videos, all the pictures that I was watching on social media, that event, that is how. And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, Jason. Listen,
Oh, I
I
know
see
that.
you
I
guys
know.
are
I am fully aware of how kick-ass that was.
that event was like, if you're gonna throw an event, and I said this to somebody today, I said if you're gonna throw an event, you go ahead and replay what Gala Games did, and that's what the fuck you
That's
present to the community, because that was
that's the
lit.
bar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is for me personally. That's one of the best events I've ever seen in this space.
I'm glad. Just wait for the next one. It's going to be even cooler.
I'm just going for the book bag, but hey, I'm just going for the
the,
book bag.
there's some pretty good swag that we handed out. Like, it was all very, very, very high class, high quality goodies. It was nice.
It wasn't one of those hotel T-shirts. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Like when I seen the amount of people talking about it from Las Vegas, and they were like, "I put on this shirt and it felt silky." Like it wasn't like one of those, the
Yeah, no,
hotels
no,
give you
it's
those like cheap ass shirts, and you
terrible,
put it
terrible
on.
things. No, every single one of those T-shirts, we worked with 10 trees to get those created.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
for each T-shirt, there were 10 trees that were planted, fully sustainable. Like, that's one of our major focuses. So yeah, the highest quality shirts that money can buy. They're like $65 a piece or something like that. Like, they're not the $3.50 thing that comes in a crate from China.
You did not go ahead and you spend. Listen, I appreciate that you guys spend, and that's why the event looked at the way it did. So congratulations.
Thanks, man. I mean, the way that we look at it is, it's like, who wears the crappy t-shirts? Nobody does, right? Like, you get the crappy t-shirt and it becomes like the towel that you dry your car with.
Exactly.
You know, you want a t-shirt. If you're going to spend money on a t-shirt from like a user acquisition standpoint, you got to get people the absolute freaking best t-shirt ever, because they will wear that thing to absolute bits and everyone will see it. You
I
know,
totally agree. I gotta kind of like if there's any leftovers, I gotta get one. Um, but getting to like obviously start off with let's start off with I guess DeFi and what you think about DeFi in general. Just a little clip from you, and
sure,
then
sure.
we'll move into obviously Gala Games, which I'm excited to hear more about. Even though I know
Yeah,
about it,
man.
I want the crowd to know about it if
Oh
they
no,
don't know about it already.
yeah, you guys gotta check it out. But I mean, DeFi for me, I look at DeFi as sort of the next evolution in finance. We have experienced through all of humanity these sort of quantum leaps as things begin advancing. Okay, the first quantum leap is going back. I don't know, probably 1200 BC or something like that. The creation of the first coinage, right? Like, that's the very, very beginning, right? Now suddenly you can trade and it's a thing that happens. Then you have, paper money, which is a big thing. And then you have joint stock companies, okay? The very, very first joint stock companies. Um, and then you have like actual electronic banking of some sort or another. Then you have crypto, then you have DeFi. So I think each one of these successively builds upon all of the others in an unbroken chain of innovation, and I think that it's an absolutely fantastic uh, fantastic start to what this next century is going to be.
I could talk the whole time. Am I cutting everybody off? Like I don't know. Like my problem with these spaces is I feel like I'm always cutting somebody off. Um, Gala Games, what is it?
So Gala Games is interesting. It was founded by Eric Schiermeyer, who's one of the co-founders of Zynga. He is our CEO. He's also a divination wizard for those who are keeping track of the D&D titles. And we basically created Gala Games because we saw problems within the game development space, where creativity was being completely crushed out of the space by essentially game development being done by the people in accounting. And creativity was being lost. Game players, okay, everyday gamers were spending money and not actually owning anything at the end of the day, and we thought that that was a pretty rough deal for everybody. And so we created Gala Games with the intent to bring real gaming to the blockchain space. So we're a little bit different than most quote unquote blockchain gaming companies that you'll see out there, because we put the very, very strong emphasis on gaming first. Okay, so we're a game company, AAA games, like the best stuff that exists out there with the best teams in the world. And then we use blockchain as an integral part of our tech stack to, bring that to life and give you actual ownership of the games. So that is Gala Games. I joined in like March or something of 2020. I was employee number 8, and I think we're up over 250 today. So yeah, things are going fantastically over there.
Jason, I because I hate I hate saying this because I want obviously I want everybody all the legitimate projects,
Sure,
I
sure,
want
sure.
everybody working together. But if you were to go ahead and say like, well, it, who is your primary competition in a healthy way? Like if you
In
were to go ahead and pick somebody out there, does anybody even come close, or you guys are just on a different?
uh, to be honest, man, like, we have committed to spending $1 billion in the game space. Okay, and we are moving forward quite quickly on that goal. We are entirely self-funded. We have not taken any VC or PE funding at all, so we don't have any of the normal chains kind of that bind. And we're really a gaming platform more than just a game. So I would say there isn't anyone that I see as really competition per se. I mean, there's other gaming platforms out there. I mean, I guess I could say that the closest thing might be like Steam, but obviously we're way, way, way earlier than Steam. So that's what I would say. I don't think in the blockchain space there's anyone that's doing what we're doing.
So like Axel, what is it? Axel Affinity?
Axie, yeah.
Axel. Yeah.
No, Axie. I mean, Axie is a little it's a three v three battler. It's
Okay.
cool. It's fun. They've done great things in the space. It is and I will not criticize them in any way, shape, or form in that regard. They've done amazing things and helped so many people. So kudos to them. It's also not a AAA game, and nobody who plays it thinks that it is, and that's okay. It's like an idle clicker brawler. Totally different thing.
You see, this is good because, like, people are getting into, obviously, right now, and it's on Google Trends. It's not like I'm throwing out numbers or
Right, right.
false data here, but like NFTs and gaming are like, literally it was neck and neck with crypto in terms
Yeah,
of trends, and now like both have surpassed crypto for the time being.
yeah.
So like people are jumping in, and yeah, we know games, like I know games, but like this is different. This is
It's
completely.
very different. It's very different. And I mean, I think the key differentiating factor here for us is it is those games. I mean, for example, I don't know if you guys saw Last Expedition was one of the titles that we announced at Galaverse in December. It's a absolute, triple A first person shooter, PvP, PvE, and it's absolutely gorgeous. If you look for Gala Games Last Expedition, you can see like gameplay and whatnot. It is, and as well as a completely kick-ass trailer, and you're gonna see the difference there. It's a game. It's built by Certain Affinity, which is the same company that did Halo Infinity, as well as a bunch of the Call of Duty like multiplayer modes and things like that. It's one of the best development houses in the space, and that's what we're bringing here. We're not a company that is making a game. We've got probably 35 games in the pipeline right now.
And are you looking to get outside of this space? So what I mean by that is, like, right now, like, we're in this space. Are you looking to expand out of this space?
Yes, absolutely.
He's like, yes, and I'm not telling you anything more. Got it.
I can't tell you anything
Perfect.
else.
Perfect. Got it. That means.
Watch this space.
uh and you know what? That's like FOMO right now. Anyway,
Dude, just yeah. I think anyone who like, if you guys haven't watched the Galaverse live show, okay, basically the Galaverse event was 2 days, and then on the third day we had kind of a live show recap that we streamed for everybody. And the first night we had Maroon 5 and Arcade Fire and um freaking Billy Idol, and like it was insane. The second night we had Snoop and Steve Aoki, and it was a very, very uh, intense event with a bunch of releases and announcements and things like that. Like, I encourage you to take the time and just watch that show. Like, it's a couple hours of content, but if you see that, you see kind of what we're working for and the level of quality that we're looking to bring to the space. And just imagine that magnified.
to go back into DeFi, Jason.
Yeah.
Um, Do you think we can police ourselves, or do you think we need regulation in the DeFi space, or a
So
combination of both?
I'm going to give you. There's two answers to this question. There's the what I want to believe answer, and then there's the pragmatic answer. The answer that I want to believe is that yes, I am quite libertarian. I'm not a huge fan of you know overarching regulations and things like that. Um, I want to say that yes, we can and we should absolutely govern ourselves. Um, the problem is that in our space, there's a lot of people who don't do their research. There's a lot of people who will like yeet into stuff, click on things, connect their MetaMask, do lots and lots of dumb stuff, and end up getting absolutely wrecked. And we have all seen it. We have all, to one extent or another, been it. I mean, I've gotten like I've gotten screwed in the past in this space before. Just like I'm sure everybody else, listening to this has. Go back to like ICO days and, how many ICOs in like 2016, 2017 did you throw a little bit of cash into and then have turn into absolutely nothing?
Me,
You know,
I
eh,
slept naked next to McDonald's.
yeah, exactly, right? So we've all been in that spot where we've lost something because of the space. And what ends up happening is people who lose things go and they say, well, that's terrible, it's unfair, I shouldn't have lost that, please government help me. And then so pragmatically what happens is regulators become interested in the space because they see it as a danger, and they're not malicious necessarily. They're trying to do what they think is the right thing, and so they will then try to regulate. And so that's essentially a thing that is going to happen, and there's not a whole heck of a lot we can do about it. All that we can do is play nice to the greatest extent that we can, and try to set an example for what a company doing the right thing in the space is doing. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, which leads me to this. And yes, just for full transparency, I always try to be transparent with the community. I am
Hmm.
the ops lead now for Everrise, which happens to be one of the hosts here for DeFi Talks. And they built DeFi security,
Hmm.
which is to me a super necessity in this space. And like, which brings me to an issue. It's like you have real utility. You have real utility. Gala Games
Yeah,
has real
absolutely.
utility. Like I know a bunch of protocols that have real utility. If I did not work for Everrise, I would still look at them the same way as if my current position with them. Real utility that goes ahead and protects the community from rug pulls and
Hmm.
God knows what.
Right.
Just protects security.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I think that that's fantastic.
But then you have these centralized exchanges that
Yes.
how do we leave the centralized world to come here to build, and then we have a government body. For me personally, that's what I call them. You have a select few that run a centralized entity that picks and chooses what goes on and what doesn't go on,
Hmm.
which is unfair to me
Yeah,
personally.
of course.
So I can't wait until we go decent. But I'll leave that topic for you. Like, how do you feel about that? And should we just completely go decentralized everywhere?
I mean, there was. Yeah, I remember a few years back, I was at Crypto HQ in Davos. Um, this was, I think, 2018 or something like that. I was there and I was sitting in one of these panels, and the basic panel was about governance, and like how blockchain can replace the government, right? And I was kind of in a bad mood that day. And I was a little, I was a little bit salty with the guys because they had a Q&A period, and the question that I always asked is, it's like I love the idea of ultimate, complete, and total decentralization of everything, but up until there is a way to tokenize and control tanks and Tokarevs, there will always be a government influence in the space. So I love the idea of total decentralization. I also think that from a pragmatic perspective, it's going to be very difficult to achieve simply because of the other stakeholders in the space.
What do you think about the DAOs that are
I
popping up?
love I love DAOs. I think DAOs are a really cool implementation of governance, and I think that they're a great way to demonstrate self governance. For some of the stuff that we're looking at, there's various DAO like components. I mean, our node ecosystem, for example, if you have a founders node, you get to vote on what games enter the platform. It's not done in an entirely completely decentralized way, with something we're working towards. But yeah, it's something that I personally love.
As long as people have the right intentions with these DAOs, I'm with it. I
Right.
don't know how I feel about Irene DAO, but I'm with everything else. I'm
I've
just
seen
saying.
that. I don't know anything. I like all I know. She's an influencer from China or something, right?
Or he might be. Like, you see, that's the problem. Like when you
Yeah.
had the Fame ladies come out their NFT, it was a bunch, like 5, 6 Russian dudes and not ladies. Like it's one
Uh,
of those like. And then like I heard like there was a rumor like Irene Dow, it might be run by Larry and not Irene, and it was just like a bunch of dudes really upset and crying on Twitter. But
oh
if it's
dear.
being if you are going down and you're completely decentralizing everything, I think that's cool. But if it's like attached to like a corporation, like which is still centralized, I don't know
Mm.
how I feel about that. Like I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
What's
No,
up,
I,
guys?
I
Can I
I hear
jump in
you.
here for a second?
Logan, what's up?
How's it going, guys? I'm Logan from Benzinga. I host the crypto show there.
Hey,
Thank y'all
Logan.
for having me. How's everyone doing tonight?
Fantastic, man.
Loving this conversation on DAOs. I actually started a DAO on the University of Michigan campus in Ann Arbor to accelerate other students' projects. And so we helped out one NFT project last semester, and we're going to be working with some more this semester. But yeah, the DAO stuff is awesome. Um, and also on the topic of the Irene DAO, it's ironic the one said focus on the tech, sir.
Wait, that's what he said?
Yeah, that was my
Oh my
favorite one.
god, that's horrible. Um, which leads me to this. So, Jason, how does the Gala token work with the universe? Did Jason? Oh, Jason has to come back up. Let's add him back up. Of course. Thank you, Twitter Spaces. Thank you, Jack, and the new CEO for still not fixing it, throwing people off for no reason.
But that guy's
Sorry,
I
Jason. No,
got
no.
kicked somehow.
Trust me, it's not you. It's not you. Don't worry. I might be kicked in the next 10 minutes. Twitter Spaces. Shout out to Twitter Spaces. Always rug pulling while we're having interesting conversations. Jason, I wanted to ask you, Gala game, the Gala
Yeah.
token. What's the utility? How does it play into the universe?
So the Gala token itself, its primary utility is for working within our ecosystem. Okay, so purchasing game items, purchasing various other products. There are going to be significant other utilities that kind of go along with the other stuff I can't talk about from earlier. But yeah, the Gala token is I think of it as the sort of central tent pole, if you will, supporting the entire ecosystem as a whole. That and the node network. So those two things working in concert, and there's a lot more coming there.
I feel like becoming. I feel like being like an attorney right now and asking the question 10 different ways and try to get Jason to slip, but I won't do it because Jason's. Listen, I've known Jason for a while. Jason has always been nice to me, so I will not do that to you,
I
sir.
I appreciate that, man. I'm exhausted enough. I might be like, well, just let me just tell you everything. Stop it, please.
How many hours do you put in?
Dude,
Honestly, how
it's
many
it's
hours do you put up?
brutal. This we're in the middle of a sprint right now. So we've got some stuff going on that nobody really knows about yet. So I started my morning this morning at 4 a.m. Had a couple calls with my team in Korea, then connecting with the team working in the UK, which handles a lot of our art assets and stuff like that. And then working on, ecosystem stuff for the entire day, and then now talking to you guys. And I'm hoping that after this, I'll sit down and take a break. But it's basically been, 13 hours straight. I've been sitting at my desk since 4 a.m.
What do you think about Decentraland and Sandbox? I was on Fox Business News the other day, and it seems like people that I don't think would know about it know about it.
I think it's interesting. I think that what Decentraland and Sandbox are doing is a pretty fascinating. It's a fascinating attempt at realizing the concept of metaverse, right? So if you've ever read Snow Crash, and if you haven't, I highly recommend that you do. You'll see that Decentraland is trying really hard to be that. Okay, they're trying to be the concept of metaverse from Snow Crash. And I think that as a first attempt, it's not bad. I never see, I've popped in there a few times. It's not really my thing. I never see too many users in there. So I think that may be a little bit of a barrier for people. Sandbox is another interesting concept. I know Sebastian, and I've had lengthy discussions with him about a variety of things. Super super sharp guy. Um, I think what they're doing is very interesting. My fear is that it may sort of go the same way as Second Life, in that it depends so much on user generated content that you know, it eventually kind of doesn't go anywhere because users don't create the right content.
Wow, wow, you just caught me with that. I'm like sitting back and you said that. I was like, holy shit.
I mean, it's a super cool concept, and if this is one of the things, this is why we work with game studios and stuff like that, is that the amount of work that goes into creating a single asset that goes into a game is insane. Like there's one particular asset that's being worked on right now for Townstar, and it's got, I don't know, probably 6 people that are working on it, and they've taken it from over the last few days from beautiful sketches, like really impressive sketches, to this amazing fleshed out mesh with animation and particle effects and everything, and it just takes so much work. And like, between the people on this team, it's probably like 100 years of expertise in the gaming space, and to create an item. And depending on just users, like, as a user, I know for a fact I could never create anything that looks like anything good at all. There are some people who can, and it is a gift, but it is definitely not everybody. Like, if I did it, it'd look like some stupid Jenga thing made out of Legos. It'd be terrible. You know,
Join the club.
right?
Don't worry
I just know
about
that
it.
that's the case. So
Hey Jason, what do you think about gambling in the metaverse? I know poker's been popping off lately.
I
I wonder if that would be like a mass adoption tool.
I personally am a huge fan of gambling. I love poker. And when I am feeling like, when I was in Vegas for Galaverse, I, like, after the whole event was done and everyone was gone, I was like stuck in Vegas for another couple days. Like, I wandered around just like sticking dollars into slot machines and wasting time because blinky lights are fun. Um,
Am I in the blockchain?
I think he got rugged.
Why are you doing this? Why? Why is that? Why?
Twitter Spaces never fails.
Shout out to Twitter Spaces once again. Thank you very much for rugging our guest today. Um, our guest happens to be Jason from Gala Games. He's currently stuck in the fiat chain. I don't say blockchain anymore because blockchain actually works, fiat doesn't. He's currently stuck in the fiat chain, so hopefully, give him a few seconds here, and hopefully we get him back on the mic. Very interesting. Again, protocol Gala Games. I've known about it for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. Uh, I think a lot of people slept on the platform, and now, obviously, with gaming becoming what it is, you know, a lot. I remember how many people, from my side personally, said like, "Why didn't you tell me about Gala Games?" I'm like, you could have easily seen that we had a partnership with them. So, I mean, uh, what else could I say, man? I don't just make partnerships with people, just like, hey, just to say, hey, I'm partners. Jason, what's going on? I see you're
Sorry
back
about
from.
that, guys. I was here like talking all of this stuff like that, and boom, I was gone. So
You got caught. You got stuck in the fiat chain, and it's understandable. It's all good. Jay, I guess you were answering Logan's question. Logan, you want to go at it again, just
yeah,
because I don't know if it
basically, I
was
love gambling. Gambling's fun. Metaverse gambling also fun. Fun without having to touch dirty slot machine buttons or icky cards or wearing a mask.
Do you see with DeFi? I'm gonna go back to
Go for
DeFi
it.
real quick. Do you see with DeFi? Do you see all these bankers jumping from CFI to DeFi in the next 2 to 3 years? And either I'm rugged or he's wonderful. I just again like to give a major shout out to the Twitter Spaces team. Uh, Appreciate you every single time I ask a question. It seems like, anytime I ask a question, or if I state the word fiat, if I state the word US dollar or fiat and it comes off negative, the guest is thrown off.
Oh,
Hi, Jason.
hi.
Welcome back.
We're going to talk about sparkly paper now.
Yes.
We love sparkly
Yes.
paper. Sparkly paper and sparkly paper policy are my favorites.
So I was you heard the question,
I
right?
heard most of the question. Essentially, will people who have been in the centralized finance space, do I see them jumping off over the next few years to the not centralized finance space? And to answer that shortly, assuming I have, because that's what keeps happening, so I'm just going to stare at my damn phone and make sure that it doesn't happen. Um, I do see a lot of that happening. I see basically like we're at a point in time where centralized sparkly paper entities are printing so much of it that it is causing.
Rip.
I just want to say this.
I'm
Okay.
just sitting here laughing, David, because
uh,
of what you said about every time you talk about fiat and say it negatively, it's a rug every time. And it is proving true again and again and again.
Listen, this is what I'm gonna say right now. Okay. First of all, I want to shout out Benzinga, G Media. I'm proud to partner up with you guys. You guys are awesome, awesome material. Check their website out. Uh, these people know what they're doing. The writing's phenomenal. I appreciate them very much. Looking forward to the future. Uh, Shout outs to the Everrise team. You know, we are going to bring that security for the DeFi space. Uh, this is ridiculous. Like I can't say a word here with literally every single time that I say anything about fiat. We're lucky that this room didn't get rug pulled. I'm telling you,
Dude,
like this is embarrassing. We got major people in here that just sitting around. This is like, come on, let him finish it.
Yes, I think that is going to happen. Wow. This is insane, man. Every time I say anything, I'm just getting bounced out. That's nuts.
Just don't speak about sparkly money.
Yeah,
I think we'll be okay.
I think I won't. Let's talk about games, guys. What do you think?
Yeah. So listen, you know what? Your mother used to tell you, or your parents, I would let me go say parents used to tell you, get off of the goddamn Sega Genesis. Okay, I know that. Okay, let me get off of PlayStation because I know, like, I'm a little bit older than some in here, and you're never gonna make anything off of that. And like now, people sit and make money playing video games. What a fucking concept! And you got to be kidding me. I did not even say anything. I did not say anything about sparkling dollars. I did not say a word about it.
This has
What,
got to be one of the worst rugs I've seen Twitter pull on his faces.
Jason? What did you? Let me ask you a question. What did you do to Twitter? What did you
I
do to
don't.
Twitter?
I actually I may have gotten into a discussion with them at some point in time about shenanigans with. Long story short, I wanted to. My father passed away from early onset Alzheimer's, and I wanted to advertise. But because I am in this space, they were not permitting that. And so I must have gotten myself blacklisted somehow. It's really irritating though. So I'm just going to sit here and just keep scrolling this slowly up and down and hope that this does not collapse and die.
David,
Jason,
can I
yes,
jump in?
yes, absolutely, Jen.
I have a quick question. Hi, Jason. I'm Jen. I'm the director of marketing at Verizon. It's been really,
Hello,
really
Jen.
awesome just hearing your thoughts. Hey, I actually had a question for you that I think is always a little interesting.
Sure.
So before I got into DeFi, crypto, and this really fun Web3 space, I spent a lot of time in VR, immersive media, mostly on the film production side. But as you know, so many game developers also went that route. And now I feel like I'm almost seeing with NFTs, game development, and the whole idea of the metaverse. It's really funny seeing everyone talk about it as much as they are now because I was like, oh my God, that was literally my life like in 2014 and 15. What are your thoughts on, you know, metaverse games and immersive games with like the mix of VR technology and AR technology? Because, like, as you know, um, oh, you got yeeted. Oh man, I couldn't even keep you up here.
You
But
know
I,
what? I got an idea.
Unbelievable.
I know I have an idea. Listen, I have an idea. Ready? Because Jason's a good guy and I want to hear him finish. I'm gonna step down as co-host, make him a co-host, and I don't think they'll bounce him.
Let's see.
all
Let's
right,
see.
let's try it. I'm gonna yeet
Yeah,
you, David.
yeah.
Oh, it
I
yeeted David into a listener.
accept co-host invite. Okay. I am now a co-host apparently.
Oh,
You
welcome. There
you
you
are.
are.
There we go. Okay,
Um,
let's see if this works. Hopefully this works. So, essentially your question, let me recap to make sure I understood, is that prior to getting into this space, you spent a lot of time in VR and then I kind of lost it there.
I was saying I spent a lot of time in, VR, AR,
Hmm.
all the
Hmm.
immersive technologies, and I feel like it's all coming back. Like, one, I think COVID, we saw the spike of Oculus headsets go
Yep.
up, and now everyone's obsessed with AR, VR, NFTs, making NFTs with like an immersive
Hmm.
component. As as Gala Games creates, AAA games, like the highest quality of games, like what are your guys' thoughts on the mixture of the two emerging technologies? And are you guys interested in going that route or
Oh, for
looking at
sure.
going that route?
For sure. I mean, we have spent some time working on things. You know, Miranda's, for example, is a MMORPG we're working on right now. It's a first person, and Michael McCarthy has announced that is going to have a VR component to it. So you will be able to go into that VR. So, you know, I think that from a gaming perspective, you know, VR and AR for other purposes are always going to be around. um, I think that the barrier there is always going to be one of hardware, right? You know, it's at this point in time, even right now with the the lighter headsets and things like that, it's still a significant amount of crap that you have to bolt onto yourself in order to really get in there. I think that as technology advances further and we get to the point where you have a headset that, rather than having a big gigantic thing on your face, you have like swim goggles. Things are going to get a lot better in that regard. um the big box thing just makes it really, really hard.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just curious on your thoughts on that. So thank you for
No,
sharing.
I love the space. I literally just ordered a VR headset the other day, and then I also ordered prescription lenses that I can stick inside of it so that I don't have to like cram my glasses in there somehow.
Oh, it's the worst. It's
Terrible.
literally the worst. I would because you end up spending several hours in there, especially
Yeah,
if you're developing something or reviewing something. And it's like my glasses would always just dig into my face.
exactly. And like
On
the bridge of your nose is like hamburger. Terrible, terrible experience.
I'm
Yeah,
kind of scared of those things because
absolutely.
I've seen like a bunch of videos of people just like throwing their hands in the air and then falling into like just looking all reckless and falling over couches and stuff. So I think I'm gonna stay away
Oh
from that.
yeah.
I mean, David, you said it in in what you were afraid of, but they're a bunch of idiots. Like you are not an idiot from my point of view. So I think
I
you would be okay.
I tried one of my favorite VR, and by favorite I mean most stomach churning, awful things I've experienced in my life, was playing Subnautica on VR. Because Subnautica, if you guys haven't played it, you really should. Super, super fun game, and you spend most of it underwater swimming around. So you don't really have an up in game. And then once you start doing that with VR, you end up like sideways and backwards and upside down and things like that. Like I took my headset off and I immediately had to lie down on the floor. Like I'm just gonna stay here on the floor for about an hour now. Everyone just leave me alone, please. It was intense.
It's disorienting, man. I got an Oculus, I think 2 weeks ago, just for fun. I really wanted to try it out and see what's up. I haven't gotten any games for it yet. All that I have done, I've watched a couple YouTube videos in 360 of some mountains. That's it. But I understand. I totally understand where people get lost because, I mean, when you put that thing on, it is an experience. I mean, you're not even in the same room that you were in, and you take it off after a few hours, and it's, you don't know up from down. It's wild, and it's, I think the games on there right now aren't the best. I haven't explored very much. I'm not like the biggest gamer, but I mean, if Gala wants to throw something together for my Oculus, let me know. I'm, I'm down to fall off a cliff.
Watch him give you the line. I got an NDA. Can't talk about it right now.
That's what I want to hear, to be honest. Jason, did you get rugged again?
You know what?
Ah,
I'm filing a formal complaint. Um,
Yeah, Jason, I'm gonna remove you from co-host and then I'm gonna invite you back up. It looks like
this is unacceptable, Twitter.
come on. I'm paying $3 a month for Twitter Blue. I expect the best service.
I had one last question on my part, and that is, obviously, we've gone through this whole pandemic, and people have been, forced to be locked down, and a lot of people work remote, or a lot of people just stop working, in general due to some of the rules that have been put out here, and now people are finding themselves playing in the metaverse, and I'm wondering, from a mental standpoint, if you know if we're going to see a lot of mental health issues with all these with, basically in within the metaverse, like that's one of my biggest questions.
I mean, my personal opinion on that, David, is I do think there will be. I mean, you look at the real world. The metaverse is essentially a cartoon copy of the real world. That's what it wants to be. I mean, hopefully one day it's going to evolve to be a lot better looking, maybe Unreal Engine or something like that. But I mean, think about the real world. You got people in Gucci sweatshirts and um, design, Lambos and designer things, and you're going to have people who don't have those things. I'm one of them, for example. I worry that metaverse potentially is going to lead to some mental health issues in that respect. I mean, that's just one level of it. I could go off on a thousand tangents, but I think that it's going to become who has more money here, and then people are going to feel a little upset. Depending on how big the metaverse actually gets. Maybe upset's not the real world, but undervalued. You know what I'm trying to say. But I hope people have the maturity to realize that this is all a cartoon here. Obviously,
but video games are already addicting. Like, just forget about metaverse. Like, think about like you playing, I don't know, like Madden. I'm just gonna throw out Madden because that's some of the stuff. Let's say or Call of Duty, right? You get addicted to it. Like, you're sitting there, you're playing. Now you put something over your eyes, and it feels intense, right? You said how long did you play that for when you first got it, or how long were
me,
you on it?
I had it on for 3 hours tops. That's me, and I've only used it once.
Did you feel like staying on?
No, I'll tell you why. I got a little dizzy.
TJ, it sounds like you experienced something that was poorly produced. It's a big issue in VR. Jason, I see you. I'm trying to get you back up here. I'm so sorry. I don't know why this keeps rugging you. But David, I
Jason,
think to answer your question,
yeah.
There's actually a lot of research and studies showing that VR has the power and capability to help people work through PTSD. And if it can do that, it can very well cause PTSD. And, a couple of years ago, when I was more in that space, a lot of the conversations we were having was around the responsibility of creators to create content that wouldn't damage people, and if they did, like, what would be the content advisories, because at that point in time there were no content advisories. Jason, you made it.
This is insane.
So rumor is, Jason, that your competitors are trying desperately not to have you talk. It's not really even about the U.S. dollar anymore. That's just rumor on the crypto block.
David, you said the D word. I'm
Oh
worried
my
he
God,
got
he's
rugged
gone.
again.
All I gotta do is just say, you know what? U.S. dollar. Look at him. He's gone. What are you gonna do? What do you want to say, Jason? Can't hear you. What? What'd
This
you
is
say?
insane.
I honestly, I've never been in this space. I'm telling you right now, somebody has paid off Twitter Spaces to not allow Jason to speak about Gala Games today, or about DeFi, or about, or even come closely to. I think there's trigger words now. I think he's saying things that I gotta do myself. This is ridiculous.
Did we just crack the Twitter system and they're censoring keywords and then they're just shutting you off?
Jason, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to. Oh, you already got kicked. Just kidding. I was going to say I'm going to kick you, then I'm going to try to bring you up here as a co-host.
Should be fun when he takes questions from the community.
Which is coming right up as soon as he reconnects.
I got to tell you a lot. For those that don't work in the crypto space, we put in a lot of hours, and like coming on to Twitter Spaces and doing podcasts and AMAs. It's it is after all is said and done, after the entire day's finished, the workday itself, we're just like on empty, man. So him just trying to get up here, like I appreciate that, because he could have easily just cut out and said like I'm done, because like I know he's definitely on E. Like there is no way possible he has a full tank on him right now.
I can definitely echo that. I mean, working in the crypto space is a much different atmosphere than working in, let's say, the real world. Crypto doesn't sleep, it doesn't stop, and you can't stop either. So definitely appreciate Jason after his 13-hour day so far, struggling with this space.
I also wanted to touch on something. So I guess I'm not going to say names until I can get the person on our show. But, he believes that the DeFi space uh, is just a shitty place. And I would love to get him on here and have a one-on-one to where we can go ahead and really have a mature conversation about the DeFi space and not just say, hey, not, it's easy to throw words around, but let's talk about it. Tell me why, and I'll tell you why it's not. And then, like, if we agree to disagree, then fine. Then we shake hands and we walk our separate ways. But I think the DeFi space is a phenomenal place, and it will give a lot of people an opportunity. But I think these words are just thrown around recklessly.
Hey, Jason, are you back?
I think so. I think
Oh,
I'm very
gosh.
I'm very traumatized by this whole experience. I apologize that I keep getting yeeted for some freaking reason. I have no idea why.
Oh,
It's
no,
not
we
you, my friend.
apologize on Twitter's behalf. But with that said, now that you're finally up here, you want to take some questions?
Sure, I'd be delighted to take some questions, assuming it lets me stay here.
Fingers crossed. Third time's the charm, right? I don't know. This might be like the 5th or 6th time, actually, but knock on wood. Bitbeard, the floor is now yours. You may need to unmute your mic in the bottom left-hand corner once you connect.
Hey, Jason, can you hear me?
Oh, no. I just saw his name go blue.
Is my microphone working?
No, your microphone's working perfectly.
Oh, Jason.
Oh, Jason. This is so not fair.
Can we start a hashtag Jason?
Can he hear? If I were to
No,
he's completely out of the space.
What? He's connecting right now.
Okay.
Jason, did you make it? Oh my god.
Weird. I did not get your question. I'm sorry.
No, I waited, my friend. I waited. I wanted to ask as soon as my crazy child is settled here. I was just curious, what is the future like for person-to-person transactions as far as the Gala games are concerned? Is there anything in the Gala games ecosystem that has successfully been able to have like person-to-person transactions in a 3D world?
if I can only speak my mind right now.
I guess Jason's unavailable once more.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, David. Yeah.
Okay, because I was about to unleash with a bunch of not nicey words. Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Not
Twitter Spaces.
Not nicey words. Did I say something wrong, David?
Not you. It's Twitter Spaces. I want to go ahead and destroy them.
I hope you at least heard my question.
And it was a good one.
Because I would really love to know what he has to say, because as far as we could tell at our zone metaverse, we're the only ones so far that have had that technology unlocked. So I'd be really curious to see if maybe Jason could enlighten me.
Well, unfortunately, first of all, thank you everybody for coming in today. Just want to give everybody a shout out for coming here to go ahead and attend this event. I think this might be my fault. I think I'm going to take the blame. I think I started talking about fiat currency, and all of a sudden, mics were shut off. Jason has been thrown off the stage multiple times now. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless, and I will yield the mic to the rest of the hosts up here.
I think we need to launch an internal investigation on Twitter Spaces to see if there's censorship words that get picked up. I'm not even kidding. This happens way too often on way too many spaces. It doesn't make sense to me. And I feel for Jason. I know how hard he's trying to connect and how badly he wants to answer. Um, this is rough. This is definitely rough, Twitter Spaces.
So I'm curious to know, is there any environment where we could be able to do this in a decentralized manner within a metaverse? Like, would that be something that would be appealing to the community?
You know, when people bring that up, there's been like I don't want to mention, but there's somebody launched two spaces. One was let's get rid of Twitter, and then the second space was like let's get rid of OpenSea. And all wanted to say on this subject is I love decentralization. I love the concept. I love everything about it. But that does not mean that everything needs to be decentralized and put on a blockchain and have a token associated with it. It's like, do we really need to go ahead and put toilet paper or make a currency for toilet paper? No. At some point, we need to stop. So, like, I think Twitter is fine. Twitter's still a young company, and it's okay. I pay for Twitter Blue. It's okay to pay $2.99 per month. I will support the platform because this platform has allowed a lot of us, a lot of our. It's allowed Everrise to brand itself. It's allowed Benzinga, it's allowed everybody to brand themselves. So if I have to pay $2.99 for them to go ahead and fix Twitter Spaces, I will go ahead and do so. I don't see or feel the need for a decentralized model. Because if you could look, you guys have a tip jar, right? And you can accept cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin. I mean, but we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with you, David.
I also have. Sorry, David. I'm just gonna chime in here. I know I don't normally chime in on these things, but I think it's also remembering what the value of Twitter is, right? Not only for brands, but individuals. Like on a platform like this, we have access to so many people around the world. Whereas if you were to create a decentralized platform that was to quote unquote mimic Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or any of the other social platforms that we all use on a daily basis, it's not like the audience isn't going to be there for a minute. It took Twitter so long to get the amount of daily active users that it gets, and like the value for brands being on these social platforms is to get awareness from people that are outside of their current existing communities. And so I just think if someone were to create a platform like that, it would be a very long time before it could have the same value and impact that it has for brands, that like a platform like Twitter has for brands. But I guess
no, because everybody's always everybody's always and I know we have a few minutes left, but everybody's always like hey, let's get rid of Twitter, let's decentralize everything, and I'm all for it, but let's do it for the right reasons. It's one of those things that, like, if there is a need for it, then I get it, but if there's no need for it, kind of like OpenSea, right? I feel bad for OpenSea from a standpoint where, because OpenSea does not give you incentive, we need to go ahead and make something that does. And yet, obviously OpenSea is down because they went from having 37,000 users to over 1.3 million users. So yeah, they're working on it. Yes, I know they have a billion. What is that? $15 billion evaluation. I get it. I understand that, but that does not mean that we have to apply pressure. And now, after being that they've only been around for 3 years, now we have to get rid of them and make it decentralized. And that's no shot. That's no disrespect to Looks NFT or anything like that. I'm just saying, give them some time. Maybe they might reward us. Maybe they might give you incentive for posting NFTs. I'm sorry for going on this rant, but I just, being that Beard went ahead and said that, I kind of thought about it and said, like, not everything, and I always say this, not everything needs to be decentralized. As for DeFi is here to stay. And honestly, it's been in my head ever since I talked to somebody today, and they said that DeFi is just a complete scam. I really don't believe that. I really, in my heart, don't believe that. There is a bad apple in any industry. Within any industry, there is a bad apple. But DeFi will be, or just will allow people to own their money. Like to me, like you are your own bank in DeFi. You don't have to. You can actually get money back. Like imagine that concept. Imagine getting money back on your money. Imagine your money working for you. That is a crazy concept because right now, if you have $50,000 sitting in your savings account, it's not really $50,000. Really look at your purchasing power. So when you say that DeFi has no place, I'm going to really, really heavily disagree with you.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I mean, look how many lives DeFi has changed over the last year, ever since it really took off. And you know, we're still early. There's less than 5% of the world invested in crypto, even less in DeFi. You know, I'll echo what you said. It gives you the power to be your own bank, and you can essentially control anything that you want to control. I mean, it takes the power away from, you know, big institutions and banks and whatnot from accessing your money. Look how long it takes to, you know, let's say you want to, David, let's say you want to send a payment of $1.5 million, or you want to withdraw $1.5 million in cash. How long before you get that? How many hoops are you going to have to jump through? It's as if it's not even your money. It's the bank's money, and you're asking for it, which is why I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of. I don't want to say the word. I don't want anyone to get rugged, but you know what I'm talking about. But I mean, DeFi is here to stay. It's only growing. There's so many opportunities to build, so many opportunities to network and really make a name for yourself. Twitter is a huge part of that. You know, as much as we bagged on them today for rugging Jason off the space, look how many people have established brands and created something out of nothing. So,
And that's why if we have the DeFi space, we need, you know, we need security. And yes, I will go ahead and say that Everrise, yes, being transparent, I do work for Everrise, but Everrise has the solutions to go ahead and keep the space safe. And I'm just super excited for Everrise and the dApps that will be rolling out, or that we've already rolled out, but more to come, right? More to come.
Always more to come. And I just want to say for anyone listening in who might not be familiar with Everrise, here's how I'll compare it. I mean, we're talking about DeFi, we're talking about decentralization and cryptocurrencies and centralized exchanges and all that good stuff. When computers and laptops first came out, and they were available to retail investors, and you know they weren't at a crazy price point, people started having desktops in their homes, laptops and whatnot. Everyone needed Norton antivirus. You needed an antivirus because there was always bad things happening. DeFi world is the exact same thing. However, there was, up until recently, no real security dApps built to keep investors safe, to keep projects safe, to keep, most importantly, your hard-earned money safe. And that's what Everrise provides. We host weekly AMAs. Ask Me Anything on Tuesdays, but we're now doing daily AMAs if you want to just pop in, learn a bit more, and chat with the community. But that's really what we do. We're trying to keep everyone safe, and at the end of the day, if you invest money, it's hard-earned money. You know, a lot of people haven't made a big 100x gains on a degen play, if you will. You know, it's money that it's $200 that they're able to spare weekly from their paycheck. You want to make sure that's safe, and that's always priority number one, and that's what Everrise is all about. On that note, I don't think Jason's popping back. We're over the hour limit, so we're going to end the space here, guys. Thank you very much for joining in.